Welcome to the Point of Focus podcast. Jer's back to talk everything into reality.
We'll be back every week, all season long.
With your host, Jeremy Piccott.
Focusing only on things that we want to get bigger in our lives.
Made by coaches and collaborators coming together for the purpose of co-creating.
Enjoy or join the in-depth discussion, information, and how-tos.
Stay tuned for another episode of the Point of Focus podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Point of Focus podcast. In today's episode, we're excited to have Sam Mitchel. He's a podcast owner and a TED Talk speaker, and he's here to share his story on how he overcame his obstacles and to focus on the point of autism. Everyone, welcome Sam Mitchel.
Hey, man, it's good to be here.
Thanks for taking the time, Sam. How you doing today?
I'm good. Doing
Awesome,
all right.
That's great. So tell me a little bit about your journey.
All right. So my journey really started from first. I'll probably introduce myself. So hello, everyone. My name is Sam Mitchel, and I do run the podcast Autism Rocks and Rolls. It's a nonprofit as well, but it's mainly a podcast, and it's about autism and how we cope with daily struggles. It's about daily struggles and how we cope with them that you may or may not understand. I'm nearing 10K downloads. I've had big guests on the show, such as Temple Grandin and Mick Foley. And my journey really started when I was born. I was diagnosed with autism when I was 4, and I had a really difficult time understanding life and just why others were not acting the way I was.
Gotcha. So tell me about some of the struggles and stuff that you've had.
Okay. Well, one struggle is I have really bad anxiety. I've had that since I was a little boy, and I've had to overcome a lot of anxiety attacks, I would say, and some panic attacks myself. And I've had to deal with foot and mouth syndrome, where I don't understand the difference between honesty and bluntness. I think they're the same thing. I don't do plan Bs. I don't compromise the best. It's either this way or this way. It's a black and white brain. There's no middle ground for me, I would say. And then another one I would probably have to say is I used to have a lot of meltdowns, but I don't have external meltdowns now. I just have internal meltdowns where I just shut down and I don't talk very much. And I don't do daily changes sometimes. I mean, I'm a little more laid back with it, but I have to know. I used to have to know when a daily change is going to occur. Like if you didn't tell me I was going to Walmart after school, I'd have a panic attack because you didn't tell me and you lied to me. That was kind of my thought as an 8-year-old boy. And then I would say another issue of mine is I have very sensory issues. I don't like wearing a wet t-shirt, or I don't like a tag in my shirt. It's just very uncomfortable for me. And it's just not a good feeling for me. I don't think anyone should really have to deal with that if they don't want to. And I question myself whether or not if I will have a job one day.
Gotcha. Have you ever had a job?
If you want to count this.
Yeah, this could turn into one for sure.
Okay, well, then you go. Yes, this job, but that's the only one I have. This one I haven't worked at a Burger King, Walmart, no. And I kind of like that because I'd rather work for myself than anyone else. I'm the type of person I don't think I could be told what to do very forcefully because it would make me mad.
Gotcha. So what are some of the tools that you use to overcome these obstacles?
I would say some tools that I've used well, let me ask you. I'm a very specific type of person. So which one specifically?
Which obstacle specifically?
Yes, it's not me trying to be me. I just need to know.
Yeah. So let's say the black and white issue, because life is very not black and white sometimes.
All right. Yeah, sure. So basically one way I cope with that issue is as I got older, I've learned to compromise, and I just tell them, I guess what I do is I have requirements, as I like to call it. When you go to school and you have a project, sometimes they're at the bottom, they say requirements. So I'm like, okay, we can bend, but here's what's going to happen. These are my requirements that are happening, yada, 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 yada. But I'll bend by doing this, but this is what we have to do, or I'm not doing it.
Gotcha. So now you said the point of focus, and like, what would you think the point of autism is?
Well, the point of autism really is to know that to destigmatize this stigma that we can't do anything, that we're broken, we're fixed, that we don't that we're broken, that we need to be fixed, that there's nothing we can do, that is completely wrong. That's the point of focus with autism. That's society's point of focus. I'm trying to turn the point of focus and make it to where people say, oh, he has autism, he can do this and this and this. Oh my goodness.
Gotcha. So what's your main goal?
My main goal really is to eliminate the stigma of autism, that we can't do anything. And I'm hoping that we get to that. And we hope to get to the world, become more accepting of it, because we are aware of it. We're just not accepting of it. And that's just my personal opinion.
Gotcha. Great. Do you have any particular stories that you'd like to share?
Let me think of a story here. Yeah, there's one story I can think of with daily changes. Once upon a time, a little boy was excited to go to Lark Farm Ranch with his friends, who we had at the time. Unfortunately, it rained that day, so we had to go with a plan B, which I hated, and we couldn't come up with an idea because I was very disappointed. And I just cried my eyes out until I could think of a solution, which was Mr. Gaddy's in Bedford, Indiana. We still had a blast in there, and it was indoors, and it was a good plan B. One of the only times I bent in my lifetime as a child.
As a child. And it all worked out.
It did.
So tell me about some of the guests you've had on your podcast. You said Mick Foley?
Yep. The hardcore legend himself. Nicest guy alive. I've had Temple Grandin, biggest autistic advocate out there, as she is changing the agricultural world in so many ways. I've had America's Got Talent contestants such as Mandy Harvey, and Brent's Got Talent contestants such as David Cubby. I've also had American Idol contestants such as James Durbin, who is the 4th runner-up of the American Idol season in 2011. He has autism, but also Tourette's. And I've had race car drivers with autism, and I've had an MMA fighter with autism, and an MMA fighter with Down syndrome, and 2 basketball players with autism.
Is that right? That sounds pretty cool.
Yes, sir. I'm hoping the guest list will grow.
Sorry?
I said I'm hoping the guest list will grow one day.
Absolutely. Just got to stick with it.
Yes,
so
sir.
If you were able to plant a seed of thought in my mind, what would you plant in my head? Like, I know you've already said. Yeah, go ahead.
I plant the seed in your head that you need to learn more and research autism to see what the positive side is, because all the society's giving you is a negative. So you need to plant the seed in your head to reverse your role and look at the positive side of it.
Gotcha. And in your opinion, what are the positive sides?
They're very creative. They're very honest with you. They're very compassionate. Even though they say we don't lack compassion and empathy, we do care. It's just hard for us to show sometimes. And I think that we can bend a little bit. It's just sometimes harder for us to do. But then you also need to learn that we truly, truly, truly care. We just may not do it your way, but we care, but we're doing it our way, period. But we care about your opinions and your ideas.
Nice. Awesome. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
Nothing I could think of. I just want to say thank you for having me on. And I think if the world could be nice and not be stupid, wouldn't the world get along?
Absolutely. Well, keep it in your mind, and one day it might just happen.
Yeah, you never know.
Right?
Right.
Awesome. Well, Sam Mitchel, I want to thank you so much for coming on and shedding some light.
Of course, it was great to be here, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Same with you. Thank you very much. Sam Mitchel, everybody. Oh, sorry. Wait, can people find you? Where can people find you?
Yeah, they can find me on autismrocksam.com. That's my website. It has my contact information, where my podcasts are, and basically all of my outlets and my accomplishments. And also has where you can find me.
Awesome. Thank you, Sam, so much.